2025. US economic growth forecast 1%.
Oh gosh, turn that music off.
Expect a sound second half of 2025 for
right, good afternoon. Good afternoon, one and all. Hopefully you're well. Hopefully you're having a good Monday. Pretty dull today in the markets, which is a bit surprising, really, seeing you've got you've got all this turmoil going on in the Middle East. But there you go. It's all pretty quiet today. Let's have a look who we've got here today. Let's walk down for a second. Okay, pin the markets. Hello to you. Hello. Ali, hello to you. Black Sun, hey, hiya. Hey, Joshua. Yeah, hi. I'm not Joshua. Anyway, hello. Ola, MK, good to see you all. Addison Smilin, good to see you. Hopefully you're all having a good day, as I said. Okay, so slightly different today in our gold giveaway competition. Simon Strutter's in the house. There you are. Poolside, Josh, I'll be there next week. On that note, yeah. So next week I won't be here on the live stream. I am going to be poolside as well, somewhere in Athens apparently. So we're having a competition that just runs for today. Okay. So you've got a chance to enter now your guess for gold, and it's going to be closing at 1:40, which is about 40 minutes from now, and we'll announce the winner at 1:50 or just before the end of the stream. So you've got a chance to enter today and claim your prize today. So it's the closest you can get to where gold will be in 40 minutes from time, as per the Owanda trading view screen, which is basically this one here. Last week I picked 3415 was my pick on live stream. We're now at 3413. Wow. It did get up to 3431, so I would have been pretty close had I been in the competition last week. So good call for me. Thank you very much. I'll pat myself on the back for that one. And we're at 3413. 3414. But patting myself on the back is all well and good. But last week we had two winners. One was exceptionally close. Gold closed on Friday the 13th at 3432.64. Okay, and we have two lucky winners from last week, and the lucky winners are going to be George Van Bijon from South Africa, 3433, and look at this, Matavia from the UK, 3432.60. He was 0.4% out. I mean, that is basically bang on the money. So congratulations to Matavi from the UK. You were so close. I've been doing this giveaways, in one form or the other for 4 or 5 years now, and I've never seen anyone as close. So there you are. Get your entry in. So congratulations to you too, George. You'll get an email from us, so you can claim your prize. And congratulations, Matavi. You get an email from us as well. Now, to enter, of course, you need to place your trade guess, or not trade guess, but your gold guess on the form that's been posted in the chat now, on the Gleam form. Okay, they must be on the form to be valid. They're not going to be valid if you just chop them in the chat there, as my backup colleague has just posted there in the chat. So it's got to be on the form, and we'll announce the winner at the end of the stream. And because where gold is at the moment, it's good to go to the second decimal place. So don't just go for, so for example, at the moment we are 3415.09. So go to the decimal places as well, because as I say, I don't think there's going to be much difference in gold from where it is at the moment. So there you have it, and we'll announce those later. So there we go, giving away live on. Hang on, I might even be able to put a caption up there as well. So there it is, by 1:40 today. If it was me, gold momentum is to the downside at the moment. Gold. This is the daily chart. I think a lot of the asset classes that you're seeing had this sort of big reaction on Friday to the Middle East unrest, And we're seeing, and so you saw oil prices spike, you saw a flight into the US dollar, you saw the stock markets come under pressure. That does appear to be, well, quite a muted effect. And I think you're seeing a bit of a reversal of those Friday moves across all asset classes at the moment. So for me, my gold pick for the next half an hour will be continuation, and I'll be back down there around the 3-4 level for me. It's only 30 minutes or 35 minutes away, so pretty close to here. But bias for me is to the downside. So I'm going to go for 3408.25. So let's have a look. 3408.25 is my guess. Of course, I can't win because I'm staff, but that would be my guess at the at 140 from now. Just a bit of a continuation going lower. All right, so if you're new to this stream, welcome. It's something we do every Monday, apart from next Monday, where you have a chance to engage with me, interact with me, ask me any questions. Some of you have been following me for 10 years or so. It's your chance to interact with me live. Anything you want to talk about, whether it's strategy, whether it's psychology, whether it's a particular asset class, I can give you my opinions, and I also talk a little bit about sort of how I address the markets. This is basically how I, as a professional trader, trade the markets, and hopefully over the time that you watch me, at some point, hopefully it will install into you how how professional traders think. It's a mixture of fundamentals and technicals on this live stream. We talk about the fundamentals, what's been driving the markets, what is driving the markets at the last week and this week, and then also we'll get onto the charts and look at some technicals as well. But if you want to engage with me, it's now your chance to engage with me. So there you have it. Right, where are we? Let's just move back now to here. Remember what I am going to talk to you today about. It's purely for education purposes and entertainment. Entertainment or not, it's up to you. You be the judge. Entertainment, education, and not to be considered to be investment advice in any way, shape, or form. I will give you one bit of advice. If you follow anyone and just copy their trade signals religiously, expecting to give up your day job and become a full-time trader, you are deluding yourself and possibly also your family. Whatever I say, I don't have the authority. I don't have the ability to pinpoint every call I make. So copying one idea would basically put you in the lands of lady luck, because I can be right and I can be wrong. And if you're just picking the odd trade on what I call, then you've most probably got something to work on, I would say. So this is the disclaimer. You need to speak to an independent financial advisor if you have any doubts about what I'm saying and the information that you are hearing. Just before I get into the analysis, I also want to make another announcement, and that is basically with great news. Basically, we've just launched again our private license with MetaQuote. So we now have MT5 back on for anyone that's interested in MT5, anyone that uses all these gizmos that I relied on so much before we lost MT5. You can now get yourself an MT5 account, and if you use the code for today, MT15, there's a 15% discount off the Experience Premium and Advanced programs. So you can do that right now, should you wish to. The actual code does qualify on all the platforms, because we can't just split up the advertising codes or the discount codes, but you can work it across all platforms. But it's obviously MT5 focused. But you can, as I say, you can use it on the DX platforms or C Trader or what have you. So there you have it. Okay, so what were the last week's drivers? Well, okay, last week's drivers. What was really driving the markets? You may have seen we had US Consumer Price Index, which is basically inflation. That came in lower than expected. Basically, they've got a target range of about 2% they need to get to, which has called a little bit into question the timing of the next rate cut. Some analysts now are predicting a cut sooner rather than later. Although if you couple this up with what we had the week before, non-farm payroll, which is basically the inflation numbers, you will see that was reasonably hawkish. So you've had a hawkish bit of data in terms of unemployment and jobs, but you're having negative sort of inflation data coming out of producer prices and consumer price index all coming down. So we're looking really for a potential rate cut, well, maybe into September. I'll talk about that later as well when we get on to this week's, because it's all about FOMC this week. We also had some GDP out of the UK. That's the gross domestic product. Month on month came in slightly less than expected, showing that economy is contracting in the UK. And we also had the spending review in the UK, which was basically a big giveaway, wasn't it? If you saw that, spend. Well, that basically means tax. But if you're spending, just so you know, the basic economics, and this is very sort of subjective, but basic economics is if governments are spending vast amounts of money on running the country, it basically means they need to borrow more money. And if they borrow money by issuing what's known as government bonds, gilts in the case of the UK, and they issue more gilts, and if they issue more gilts, that basically means there's more supply of government bonds. If there's more supply, the price goes down. Yep. And if price goes down of a government bond or any bond, the yields go up. Okay. So basically, we saw a bit of pound being supported on the sort of the giveaway budget, if you like. Obviously, they're going to have to borrow more money or tax. They said that they're trying not to be taxing businesses and so forth, but I think it'd be very hard for them not to have to raise taxes at some point. But certainly borrowing is going to increase, which does push the yields higher, which is supportive of the sterling. If rates are higher, then the currency normally is supported. So pound has been a little bit well bid, certainly against the US dollar and some other weaker currencies. And then, of course, you had Middle East tensions on, and you saw that on Friday, really Thursday night, Friday, and that basically saw big moves in asset classes. Stocks were down about 1.5–2%. You saw oil. We'll see in a minute. I'll show you exactly what it was. Oil was, in fact, up 11% on the week, but oil was actually up around 17% at one point. Okay, it's come back and coming back again today. So oil was one of the big beneficiaries of the Middle East crisis, and of course that's. There doesn't seem to be any let up in sight, although oil is coming down at the moment. Stocks were down slightly, although they were recovering now. S&P was down 5.5%, and the Dow was down 1.5%. The dollar is down as well. Dollar again. The dollar was slightly lower last week. Stocks in the UK was up about 0.5%. I've got it here as unchanged, but it's slightly better on stocks in the UK. The DAX, which is a German stock market, that was up about 2%. So hasn't really affected the European markets at all. In fact, I don't think it's affected any markets. We're basically flat now to where we were before it all kicked off down over there last week, which is really quite surprising. I've been around for many years in the markets. When you see something like this, when two nations start having a right go at each other, normally that uncertainty really can. I mean, if they told me the stocks were down 5% on Friday, apart from Boeing, of course, then I wouldn't have been surprised. But they're basically flat now, so slightly surprised. Bitcoin unchanged for the week, so there you have it. Gold was up 4%. Okay, so gold up 4%. That clearly is a flight to safety. Gold is a safe haven asset, and often in times of uncertainty, gold, precious metals, and indeed sometimes the dollar outperform because they seem to be the safe haven currencies. And also the Japanese yen is a safe haven currency. Low yielders, they normally perform better when it's risk off. Okay, but the yen is coming into some certain levels at the moment. It's going to be sort of like I'm going to talk about the yen in a moment when we get onto the charts. I think the yen is something you might want to be watching this week. Okay, we've seen. Well, I think, we'll get on to the charts in a minute. I think the yen's got some interesting plays going on across a few of the different classes. So we'll talk about that in a moment. Let's have a quick run through on the calendar for this week. Bank of Japan is going to be reporting tonight. Well, it's midnight. No, it's about 2 a.m. UK time. So Tuesday morning, 2 a.m. So most of us, I'll certainly won't be at the screens, will be asleep. But they're basically going to announce their rate decision. And they're expected to leave rates unchanged. But the policy statement is important for the forward guidance. They're getting to the stage now where Japan might be considering raising their interest rates with inflation the way it's going. So you may see a bit of support coming into the Japanese yen. But technically, at the moment, it's coming into some important levels. So keep an eye on that. We'll look at the charts in a moment on this. Most probably, Pin Market says the tension on the Middle East crisis makes the markets quiet. Everyone is watching, waiting for any uncertainty. Yeah, I guess so. Yeah. COT buying the yen. Okay, yeah. So that's Tuesday. Retail sales also in the afternoon, 1:30 UK time. Expected to see an uptick in retail sales. Core retail sales, that is the retail sales broadline figure, which is more volatile. Expect to show a decrease. The core is the takes out all the volatile components. Wednesday is the big day, 7 p.m. UK time. We've got the Fed Funds FOMC, stands for Federal Open Market Committee. It's basically when the Fed decide on interest rates. Expected to see a drop. I beg your pardon. Let's start that. Let's scratch that. Interest rates expected to stay unchanged at 4.5%. And it's the economic projections as well, followed on by the statement. So it's quite an important FOMC. It's, as I say, unlikely that they'll be moving interest rates. We always talk about this, but this is the important one. So if you follow my mouse, CMC Group, you just type in FedWatch tool into Google, and it comes up with this. It's free. We're not affiliated to CME at all, but this is a free bit of content. It's always worth checking it out. I think it's amazing how this moves when you see big numbers, and the dollar is affected by this as well. This is the Fed Fund futures. 18th of June, follow my mouse, is the next meeting, which is a couple of days' time. And they are expecting to see rates at the moment at 4.25 to 4.5. This is the expectation, and there's a 99% chance that they will not move interest rates. So they will not move interest rates. I've never seen that be 99% and be wrong. But it's not really, and even in July, middle of the summer, they're still expecting an 81% chance that they won't move next month, in the July meeting. But the big meeting that I think is live, if you call it live, is the September meeting, where they're expecting a 65% chance that rates will move. So it's pretty much a non-event this week, but the economic projections are important because it sets out the sort of the plan ahead for the month ahead. So it is important. Of course, whatever happens to the US interest rates has ramifications across all asset classes, stocks, currencies, dollar. So you've heard the expression before. When the USA sneezes, the whole world catches a cold. So that's basically where we're expecting rates to be unchanged until really September. Then you got New Zealand gross domestic product, unchanged. Not much more to say about that, to be honest. So I'm not going to dwell on that one. Thursday is a big day. We've got a couple of rate decisions on Thursday. Okay, couple of rate decisions. We've obviously got the overnight. We've got the Australian employment change, 1.9. It's not 1.9 thousand actually. It's 19,000 they're expecting, but just a bit of a correction. There's 19,000 they're expecting from 89,000. But this number is they get this number so wrong. I mean, I've always said if you're really bad at your job, apply to become an analyst for Australian data, because they're just so wrong on this every time. I don't know. I think they just throw darts at a dartboard to guess what their employment change will be. Anyway, the unemployment rate 4.1%, unchanged at 4.1%. Anyway, so the first rate decision at 7 a.m. UK time. We've got the SNB, that's the Swiss National Bank, and they are expected to drop their rates to now 0%. If you've got a currency that's got 0% return, is there much to be had by holding the Swiss franc apart from being safe? Swiss franc, although the Swiss franc is the Swiss franc is under pressure at the moment, but they're going to expect to drop it to 0%. Actually, there's a survey I've just seen on Bloomberg. They asked 30 top economists what they think of the SMB meeting, and 27 out of the 30 went for a cut of 25 basis points, but 3 of the 30 actually went to go negative, so 0.5% cut to go interest rates at negative 0.25%. So there you go. And also Thursday is a US holiday. I beg your pardon. Before we get there, we've got the Bank of England. Bank of England is at 12 o'clock. MPC, Monetary Policy Committee. Rates are expected to stay unchanged, 4.25% from 4.25%, and they're basically seeing a vote of 7-2. So 7 members of the 9 panel will vote. Well, they'll all vote, but 7 are expected to keep unchanged. 2 are expected to cut rates. So we'll see on that. We may stream that. Oh, we may stream that live. Yeah. So there you have it. Well, some markets pin, some markets go, some markets close, Forex markets open, but some markets close early. But yeah, US market is closed on Thursday. And on Friday, we've got UK retail sales expected to show a drop, negative 0.5. And then you've got Ueda speaking. Again, it's an important one for the Japanese currency this week as we get close to potentially cutting interest rates. Okay, so that's the week, economic week. As I say, it looks like a quiet week at the moment, although we do have 3 central bank rate decisions, US, Swiss, and UK. But we're expecting a reasonably quiet week, and obviously we'll all be watching the news wires for any developments. I mean, what developments can happen? The only developments that can really happen that's going to shock the market, or not shock the market, but the only thing I can see happening is a deal or peace deal or truce, or not truce, but a ceasefire or something, which would be good for, at the moment they're going at it hammer and whatever. So I can't see any more bad news about that. So is it all priced in? Surely the only thing that isn't priced in is the timing of a ceasefire, unless unfortunately one of the big leaders gets killed or something like that. Then I think the only big news will be positive news, possibly. Maybe I'm being too optimistic. But there you have it. Okay, so let's have a look then. Where's gold now? You've got how long we got? You've got you got about 17 minutes to get your bids in. And there you go. Oops. So you got 17 minutes to get your bids in. For that, I'll put on that thing just to remind you. You got 2. We're going to give away 2 prizes. There you have it. Okay, so gold. So let's just have a look at gold at the moment. One of the strategies I teach, one of the strategies I've been trading forever. It's basically I called it the boomerang, right? Boomerang reversal, but or trend, but this is a boomerang reversal I'm talking about at the moment. It's just basically boomerang which comes back. So this strategy basically looks for the big reversals at key levels. But even if you don't trade my boomerang, and that's absolutely fine, it's just something that works for me. It's important that you have, I think, your key levels drawn in, and I think you should be doing this on a weekend before the markets are open, so there's no bias. And these are what I call the roadblock resistances and support, where price is really going to struggle to get through. Doesn't mean it won't get through. None of these levels are insurmountable, otherwise there'd never be trends. But these are what I call roadblocks. And I've seen many traders I've taught over the years, increase their win to loss ratio just by appreciating these roadblock resistances, i.e., you don't trade trend through these levels. Okay, you don't trade trend through that. You sit on your hands and you do nothing, taking away 30% of the trade. And if you're trading the trend, you trade on the right side of the moving averages. I always use the 10, 20, 40, but you trade on the right side of the moving averages. So you're only buying if it's if the trends are up. You're not selling. You're not buying in front of the roadblocks. What you're doing here is just slowly increasing the probability on the trade, and that's all what trading is. It's basically having an edge and exploiting it over the long haul, over the large number of trades. And here we got roadblock resistance in gold at 3431. Okay, this movement here back from April the 21st Yeah, that shows you. Remember, all this buying up here, a lot of this buying was all central bank buying as well, by the way. This is real buying, especially when you see daily momentum candles like this, these green candles. This is bigger money. This isn't you or I playing our MT5 accounts. No, this is big money when you see this type of price action. And obviously, central banks have been buying this for forever. But obviously, when you get to these levels, that indicates a potential level of roadblock resistance where, well, it's bounced off it there with this big daily high wick candle. Sure indication there's profit taken up here, right? We got up here again, and sure indication these red, almost full momentum candles are showing you that there's bearish momentum here. This is again potential profit taking. These are not sort of these are high volatility candles. Off we go again, and we've gone up again on Friday, and again profit taking. This is down to what's known as splitting. I think I've mentioned it before. I've mentioned it again. When I used to be an investment banker in the city, while I was on the futures markets, but I spent some time on the UK government bond desk. So we were institutional traders. And if we were sold a lot of government bonds by one of the sort of insurance companies or something like that, we might take on 100 million bonds or something like that. Well, we'd have to hedge that in the futures market. But we didn't chuck out 10,000 contracts at one go on the futures market because you just wouldn't get a look at it. So you used to just drip feed it out. You split it. You split the orders, and that's basically what you're seeing here. I think the splitting of gold orders up here, but we don't know for sure. So all we do is use price action to help us with that. So at the moment, I think gold is coming under a little bit of pressure, and I would then drop down to my lower time frame charts to perfect an entry because we don't know, right? So here we've got this is a 4-hour chart now. We have the first momentum into that zone that we've established as a roadblock resistance. Is it going to be respected? Is there liquidity up there? We don't know. Buyers are still here. They're sort of, they seem to be fading a little bit. But this is the type of pattern I am looking for. So we hit the level of resistance. You pull back, and then this movement higher. Okay, we've had this little rich 4-hour candle here. But if this rally that you're seeing, and it looks like this at the moment, fails to take out the previous high, then this is a potential for a reversal. So and it doesn't leave any imagination of where you place your stops. You place the stops above the perceived failed swing high for your entry, and your profit targets could be, at the next level of liquidity. So which I think would be here. So this one at the moment, for example, at this moment, let's just get this a bit more accurate. This is, some of you may follow SMC stuff. I've been trading this forever, well before. But SMC, smart money concepts, have been around for donkey's years, since the 20s, 100 years ago. Smart money, Richard Wyckoff, remember him? We don't remember him, but you've heard of him. But obviously ICT got talking about smart money concepts about 5 years ago, and it's all become very trendy. But quite frankly, it's just price action, looking at where institutional money is. And this would be my potential trade setup in gold. And I've also got, it's also coming up in the stocks as well. As I said to you, a lot of these asset classes are linked. So I would look at here. It's not, you've got 1.3 to 1 at the moment, but the next profit target really for gold would be back down to where this rally really started from. So you've got 3,300, which is about 150 points from here. It's not a lot, and that you get 4.7 to 1. Now remember, if you're going for proper assessments, and you're looking for a 10% target, well, you only need 3 or 4 of them a month, and you shouldn't be rushing this overnight. By the way, we've done our studies on what makes successful traders in our prop world, and it is longer term, not necessarily the scalpers that make it the most, make it the best. But something like that, you get a 4 to 1 on that. It's 3 or 4 times a month. You get something like that, controlling your risk. Some work, some don't. If you don't work, if it doesn't work, you lose 0.5%. But if it does work, you make 2 or 3%. On the trade. Of course, 2 or 3 of them a month, and you're well on your way to getting your funded account. So I'm liking gold to the downside. Again, disclaimer: don't trade gold to the downside, because what I'm saying, and don't necessarily even trade this break, because this might work, might not. Some do, some don't. But this would be my sort of one of my biases at the moment. We're also seeing this in the stocks, right? So we've got, just a quick reminder, you've got 10 minutes to get your guesses in. Remember, you need to put your email address in as well to validate your entry. If you put in a fake email address, we all have fake email addresses where we want to get stuff for free on the internet. So you put in a fake address. Well, if that's you can't do that here with us, unfortunately, because we won't be able to contact you with the price. So make sure you put in your email address. But look at the stocks. I mean, this is the S&P. Well, this is the Dow. Okay, our roadblock resistance. I mean, let's have a look at the daily here. I think you would agree. Remember, do this on the weekend, so there's no bias. Do it in the cold light of markets are open, and so and you can mark them obviously on your trading view. If you use trading view or whatever platform you use, you can put an alert in there. All the platforms these days have alerts. You can even do it on you can do it on MT5 as well. I'll pull up an MT5 trade platform next time. Yeah, you've got so you've got, this is a roadblock. This is a roadblock. Yeah, you can't deny it. This is where this big drop, which I think that was Liberation Day, a 15% drop in stocks ensued from this level. It's called roadblock. We got up there, here, and it failed off again. We've gone again. Now I'm drilling down to the lower time frame chart to see if I've got an entry, because, as I say, we don't know at the time of placing the trade whether there is liquidity up there, liquidity where sellers are jumping in to buy. But if you look here on the 4-hour chart, again, you can see the pattern. Hits the high, pulls back, goes again, fails to take out the previous high. That is your break of structure here. There is your stop. There is your stop. Okay. Whoops, daisy. There's your stop there, and your profit target. Well, you would have got 2 to 1 on that first break. In fact, I think our first profit targets would have been there. I didn't trade this last week. I was busy, but my first profit target, I think. Yeah, my first profit target would have been there, so I would have missed it, I think. But we're now coming up to that level. Again, you can't trade this, but a retest of this isn't my strategy, but a retest of this break of structure, reversal break of structure, is going to be an important level. So my guess is that obviously we're having a bit of a rally in stocks at the moment. Technically, if it gets back up there, we're mostly going to roll back over. Okay, you really need to see a break of this swing high for the stocks to said to be, bullish again. 7 minutes to go. Yeah, 7 minutes to go. I'm not sure how many entries we've had. So how many we had. So there you have it. So fee. Hello everyone. Any directions, 50-50 chance bias on what? Yeah, David Paul. Yeah, God rest his soul. He just died last year, didn't he, David Paul? The most senior people just avoid gold. Wow, we've had a lot of entries so far today. A lot of entries. So I don't get to see the entries. I'm too busy chatting to you guys. But my back office team are sifting through the guesses at the moment. We'll hear it there at about 10 to, about 15 minutes from now. But you've still got 5 minutes to go to get your entry in. Double entries don't count. If you double entry, you're going to be banned on both. Not banned, but both of them will be knocked out. So no double entries. 1 guess per person, clearly. There you have it. Anyway, US 30 coming in potentially. Well, that's the break of structure there. That's the strategy right there. And you've got this as well on the NAS. Look, the NAS 100. Okay, we're having another retest, but this is, again, back to the daily for your roadblock first. Always put the daily on. Okay, well, there's our roadblock. Bounced off it there, bounced off it here. That led this level on the NAS 100, the tech heavy stock index, led to a 25% drop. That is why we call it roadblock. And that's why you had this touch of it and off it went. Technical analysis is not as complicated as simple as you want to make it. But would you have bought this NAS on the pullback knowing that you got this roadblock resistance? Would you have bought it? Some people did. The trend followers would have been buying here. Some trend followers. Great. And it might go through. Might go through this time around. But would you have been stopped out? Having seen it drop from a touch of it, we've dropped 3%. Would you have held the stocks being 3% wrong? Just don't trade roadblock. Trade for the reversals at roadblocks. So back to the 4-hour chart. Again, you had this touch. See the pattern? Touches it, pulls back, has a go, fails to take out the previous high. That is your break of structure. Your stops are above there. Your profit target's down here. You're still short this now. And that shows you this big 4-hour momentum candle. Shows you the that larger money is involved. Thoughts on Bitcoin? I'll look at Bitcoin in a second. Just look at so the Dow, same thing, yeah. You've had they're all putting back a little bit at the moment, but until they take out this swing high, you still trade this to the downside as a reversal. Stops above. Let's have a look then at Bitcoin. I'm not a big. Oh, there's a trading view competition going on, isn't there? Has anyone seen it? Anyone that has trading view, there's a competition. I think 50,000 people have entered. I've started in June the 2nd and it runs to the end of June. And the winner, the leading bloke at the moment, I think he's on about 98 grand profit, almost on 100 grand account. Obviously, so I did open up my account with them today, and I just sold my maximum. Sold maximum. So I bought maximum I could on Bitcoin and sold and bought maximum I could on WTI. And just forget about it. Pure gamble. What do I think about Bitcoin? Well, you pulled it up. See this level back where my crosshairs are, 27th of May, led to a significant drop. I'm not sure why that is not working. Why is that not working? 10% drop in Bitcoin from this level. Okay, we get up there again. Roadblock. Got another roadblock up there as well at 112, but this roadblock was issued at 110. So you got roadblock resistance up there because of this big drop, 10% drop the last time we got up there. So this is your roadblock. And then, whoa, guys, you asked me. There's your pattern. You would have been short that. I think my profit target would have been maybe down. I think, I don't know, might have just missed my profit target. I'm not in it. Most probably would have had my profit target there, but that would have been frustrating. But maybe I'd have scaled out, or you can scale out when you get down there. You don't want to give back this amount of profit once you see it. Once you see a 2 times risk reward, and you're seeing it reverse. You don't want to be giving all that back. Break even at worst. Yeah, I mean, Bitcoin is reversing at this level. If dollar trades higher, then you may see Bitcoin come under a little bit of pressure. And you look at dollar at the moment, this is the green line. Dollar is under, it was sold off last week. But since the Middle East blow up, dollar has been reasonably well supported. Okay, if dollar continues to act as a safe haven currency and maintain some bullish momentum, then you can see Bitcoin maybe come under a little bit of pressure. Bitcoin's been flying really high for a number of reasons, of course, but also dollar weakness. Dollar's down 10% since the beginning of the year, which has helped Bitcoin and helped gold, of course. Right, we got competition is now closed. So there we go. I'll take that off. Competition is now closed for this one. So let me remove that. We will announce the winners in about 10 minutes time. So there you have it. Is there another ongoing competition now, sir? Or is there any coming up next week? No more today. No more today. I won't be here next week. But stay tuned. Subscribe to the channel. You know, and we're always going to be jumping on doing stuff. You know, some more events coming up. More giveaways as well. Got to be in it to win it. I don't know if people are listening to me, Lockie, but I think I've mentioned it about 10 times. Yeah. Then the winner will be announced at 1:50, which is about 9 minutes from now. Yeah. So there you have it. Maybe people are on the bus or something can't hear me. So the Japanese yen. Japanese yen has got my attention at the moment. Okay. Japanese yen is coming into some interesting levels. Euro yen. Look at this level, the euro yen. Yen strength. Euro weakness. Up here again. Euro strength. Yen weakness. Now, if you see, and it's been rumored, if you see a more, look, there's two reasons why the yen could trade higher. This could roll back. First of all, you've got potential for rate hikes in Japan this week. But if not this week, there is potential that the governor Ueda will be indicating that they are ready to start thinking about hiking rates. If they're going to hike rates, this yen could continue to drive higher. Okay, but it's at interesting levels at the moment. Okay, so if this pulls back, this basically means Japanese yen strength. Yeah, so if we see, and also the safe haven play, right? So the yen is a low yielding currency. It's a safe haven, flight to safety. So yen does better in times of uncertainty. Well, we're having a Middle East crisis at the moment. We're at a level of resistance, a roadblock resistance. I would be now looking at the yen for a potential reversal, the euro against the yen. So the euro coming down, a yen going higher. And as I say, it's at that really, really important level. So you don't just trade it willy-nilly. You trade it with your strategy in mind. This is your roadblock. Okay, so we've just at the highs at the moment. Get yourself ready. If we have a pullback and another go at it, but fails to take it out, that is where your level could be. So it's not there yet, but it's something that I'm looking at. You wouldn't trade this break here because this break here, this higher low led to a higher high, so it's a strong level. But this break here at 165.70 could reverse. But the yen is happening across a lot of them. Pound yen, look, pound yen, another level. So the yen is at a level, look, pound yen, same thing. Bang, 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 bang. Roadblock resistance. So the yen is at this level, look, up from May, this is the 4-hour chart, May 29th, May 12th, going again. You had a break of structure here, which led to maybe a 1-to-1, but that's all. But now we're back up to it at the moment. You could look at this. You could look here at this rally, failing to take out these two highs. If this fails to get above, you don't trade it until it does. If it does, then you could look to see, well, my break of structure is going to be down there. This can move, you know, I don't know what the ADR was of this, but this could easily move there. Spinning 5 winners. Yes. Are we all here just for the giveaway? You don't want to be doing that, otherwise they'll pull it from me. So keep an eye on that. Gold has a long, yen has a long way to go. You can get a really decent risk reward trade by selling anything against the yen, by basically selling yen crosses. That's basically yen strength. The euro yen. I mean, look at the. What about the Swiss yen? Swiss cut interest rates this week. Yeah, might go negative. 4-hour chart. Let's go to the daily for a sec. On the Swiss yen. We're at that today. We've broken through that roadblock. Are we going to continue? Well, I don't know. I have no idea. But if we don't, my charts will tell me where to sell it. Excuse me. Waiting for the pullback. Waiting for a pullback here has not happened yet, but you can be patient. Looking for that. You can get yourself a little notification in there as well on the Swiss yen. Please make it 5 winners. We're not. Son of God, make it 5 winners. We try to do our best. We appreciate people's budgets and so forth. Oops, wrong one. That's why we give you a discount. If it's just the money, look, if you're here just for the prizes, that means you definitely want to take an assessment account. Okay. Well, if that's the case, and it's just a money thing, well, there you go. You've got a 15% discount off of those packages on the MT5 or indeed any platform. So that's the best we can do. Obviously, we'll all of those too, but the discount there is there for everyone for today. Do you have any experience on advanced? Do you have any experience or advice on scalping lower time frame charts, such as the 3 minute on 1 minute? Do I have any experience? I have to ask myself a question: why you want to do that, Edward? Why are you on the 1 minute? Is it because it's exciting? I used to be a floor trader, and I was on, but we didn't have charts. But we were literally on a sort of 10-second chart. I'd buy and sell within the same breath almost sometimes. But on the screens, the lower you go, the more random it is. That's all I'll tell you. Right? The more random it is, the harder it is to make money. And indeed, we've done extensive research with all our prop accounts. So we've seen what makes people successful and what makes people unsuccessful. The most successful traders are not on the 1 minute chart, 3 minute chart. In fact, our data showed us that you are 8 times more likely to fail if you trade for less than 30 minutes. Right, we got the prizes coming. We have got the prizes coming now. So let me just take that off now, and then we'll wrap up. Who have we got today? So the prizes for this week's. Oh, don't know if she's ready yet. Are we ready? Are we ready? Don't know. Yeah. So keep an eye on the YouTube. If you don't already subscribe, then you should subscribe, because we're going to be upping the streaming content. We're going to be upping the streaming content. But you need to obviously know when we're going live. Something will be on some news events and so forth. Obviously, if you're on our database and you've just signed up for the competition there, then you must be getting an email. I think, I don't know how that works, but if you're on the YouTube and you sign up and subscribe, then obviously you get notification when we go live. But I know people like to plan ahead as well, so you can always go to the channel and see what's coming up. All right, do we have any winners? Cartesian, just waiting for the winners. Anyone want me to look at anything in particular while we wait for these winners? Look, euro dollar coming into a level. See, there's big levels going on. We've seen it against the yen. We've seen it against the stocks. We've seen it against the gold and what have you. Interesting. Right, I've got a couple of winners for you. So the first winner is going to be, just bear with me a second, where I'll put it onto these winners. Here we go. I won't do that. I'll just drop it. I'll just drop it in the chat. Our first winner is going to be. Can we also have the levels that they chose, what they picked, as well? Can I have the winners, the levels? So the first trader close was Dog Trader. I don't know what that name is all about. Dog Trader is our first winner. So congratulations to you. I'll drop it here in the chat. Just bear with me a second where we can do this. 1, 2, 3. And the second winner is going to be, boom, there you go. There come our winners of today's competition. Dog Trader and Adalian Falak. You are the winners of today's one of two $12,500 giveaways. So congratulations to that as well. And there we are. So well done. Pin the Mark is always watching the streams. That was good. Rachel, first time here. This is so helpful. Good. Hopefully you found it useful. You know, it's fundamentals and technicals. I think everyone should be familiar with both sides. You know, if you have the fundamentals backing up your technicals, you're in for a better edge, I think. Trade to travel. Congrats. Yes, I agree. Congratulations to our two winners. Dog Trader came in at 341274, and Adelian came at 3416, and of course gold now is ending at 3416. So well done. Not much, was it? Not much change, but there you have it. Didn't do very much over that time. What's my view on gold, Sonny? My view on gold is that we're into a potential reversal pattern coming up. As I mentioned, you can scroll back on the stream earlier for my analysis on gold. Sono Good, which we did at the beginning of the stream. If you want to go and watch it on catch up, you can do. All right, folks. Thanks indeed for watching. As I say, subscribe to the channel so you can get aware of when I next come online. I won't be here next Monday. I'll be it's my wife's birthday, and we're going to Athens, I think. So we won't be here on the Monday live stream, but we'll certainly see you very, very soon. So thank you very much for tuning in, and we'll see you very, very soon. Congratulations again to our winners.